What's up, everybody? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant connection to them? Like you've known them before, maybe even seen them before, maybe even from a past life? Or maybe you kept attracting the same type of people into your life and wondering why are these type of people attracted to me? And is there a lesson that I am missing by the people that I'm attracting around me? Or what if these connections are random, but really part of a greater pattern of your growth and is leading you to your purpose? And how would you change your life if you knew that these connections were here to help you build trust and help you break patterns that you've been going through over and over again? Well, Gate 44 in human design is all about connections, and it's also all about networks. This gate is all about reading the patterns in our past relationships or in our current relationships and knowing and trusting the karmic cycles that we're going through, the ones that keep repeating themselves, and looking for the lessons, looking for the wisdom in those cycles so that we can use those nuggets moving forward. Gate 44 shows us that relationships can be transformative and they help us move closer to our purpose. The energy of this gate is all about trusting our instincts and the people around us to help create connections that support and grow our healing, and we can create success for ourselves and others. Some other names of Gate 44 are the Gate of Recognition, the Gate of Patterns, the Connector, relationship chemistry, the gate of karmic connections, and the gate of interpersonal awareness. In astrology, this gate is Scorpio. In tarot, this is the Page of Cups. In the I Ching, it's called Gao, coming to meet. And this energy is all about our soul connection, the people that we meet, people chemistry, and transformation through all of our different connections that we have in our lives. In human design, this is in the spleen and it's reaching towards the heart center and creates or connects with gate 26, which is the channel of surrender or creates the channel of surrender. All right. So, in essence, this gate all about networks and it holds really the energy of chemistry, of intuition and deep connections. The this gate empowers us with a sense of the relationship opportunities that may be out there for us and is guiding us towards people who can support and really transform our journey. I yesterday went to go see an Ebu, and let's just say the start of this energy this week has started out for a bang for me. I am running into I say running into, but literally my ancestors are starting to come to me and I am open and willing and ready to accept them. And so, I feel that this week is going to be really big for me and literally reaching out to a network that I have not been in touch with previously that is out of this world. This energy also allows us to read people intuitively. So just have a knowing and often we can sense their strengths and their weaknesses within a few moments. Maybe even like when we first meet them, we can just initially sense if this person is going to be a positive or a negative influence on us. And so this week is all about recognizing those connections and aligning ourselves with a path and knowing that, whether it's people or experiences in the past or present, if they're resurfacing, that these patterns are here to help us heal and they're here to help us get to that next level. This gate also is here and it helps us ask the question, what have we seen in our past relationships or are there any karmic lessons that we can pull from our past relationships when we're reviewing how things are going? And so when we activate this energy, it enables us to break free from our past cycles that may be holding us back. And we also may begin to notice the patterns within our connections and understanding why certain people or certain experiences are part of our growth. And this really helps us start to trust or continue to develop our trust in our instincts, particularly within our body. And it guides us towards our true purpose. It also guides us to be more aligned with our true selves. So this week with this energy, I also have this energy in my chart already. So if you do have this energy in your chart, you already have access to this energy. But if you don't, this week, you also have the opportunity to lean in to this energy. And so we may feel a sense of heightened intuition with people that we meet or knowing and really having a deeper connection to those around us. We also may have a sense of familiarity. That word is tripping me up today, apparently. And with the people in our past who seem to be tied to us or are continuing to show up to give us those karmic lessons. And we also may feel the urge to heal our past relationships or wonder what kind of things went down in our past relationships that we can learn from and really use that to create fresh energy or see how we can have a renewed sense of our own energy from looking at how we approach those past relationships. So this week in your reflections, your contemplation, and your meditation, think about the following. Are there patterns that we're repeating in our relationships? And what are those patterns here to teach us? And how can we use our instincts to really be more intentional about our connections with others? Are you out here just making connections just because, or are you truly, listening to yourself for the connections that you want to make? For me particularly, this is present in business and promoting my business. This channel in Human Design with 44 and 26 is also called the channel of sales and marketing. So I'm thinking about or feeling, using my instincts to think about where do I want to be more intentional in the connections that I make. I have a decent sized following of people on LinkedIn, and I've always had this instinct of, this is where I should be looking for people to help with my human design coaching and with my business, but it doesn't always feel like it's the best place to be. And so I'm looking at how can I leverage making the right connections on LinkedIn. It's literally called connecting on LinkedIn, right? Versus just kind of haphazardly just connecting with each and everybody, whoever comes across my plate, without being more intentional about the connections I make. And here on YouTube as well, right? These connections here, I feel, are a lot more aligned as when people start commenting on your videos. When someone's commenting on your video, that means they actually watched it and they are interested in what you're doing. And a lot of times, particularly with the topic of human design, people who are watching these videos, they already connect with human design in some way. And what they're sharing is that, something I'm talking about is actually connecting with them and how they feel in their chart as well. So this week we're going to meditate on, how can we make more intentional connections with others. And after our meditation, we want to write down some notes. We want to journal a little bit. So let's reflect on, are these relationships, how are they impacting us? How are the connections we make impacting us as we move forward? And, what patterns from our past relationships are we ready to let go of? Which ones do we want to break free from? And how can we approach connecting differently? So in shadow, this gate 44, well, we may feel disconnected from our intuition, from our experiences, and we start to mistrust relationships. Now, this can lead us to avoiding, this can lead us to not take the lessons from our past connections that may have been difficult, right? If you've had past, particularly romantic relationships, different breakups, you may feel like they were bad, quote unquote, but there's always something we've learned through our different relationships. And, it's okay that we feel that way. but we don't have to get overwhelmed by these feelings. We can look deeper in them and see what are the patterns that we need to extract from these relationships to turn that overwhelm, or in this case, to turn the shadow into a higher frequency. Also in shadow, we may also feel that we're overly focused on those past relationships, and it's really stopping us from moving forward and creating new relationships, forming new connections, because we're so stuck on how that person or how that situation made us feel. And we think that all other relationships moving forward are going to have us feeling that way. I see that a lot, particularly on Facebook and here on YouTube as well, around relationships. And this goes from both sides, both men and women, whether it's the body count conversation, the 50-50 conversation, the men need to bring this to the table. Who is the table conversation? There's always something that we're holding from past connections that's preventing us from moving forward, when in reality, everyone really wants to create great connections, to find relationships moving forward. But the past is always keeping them from deciding or figuring out what is the best way moving forward. In enlightenment, Gate 44 really shines the light for us on how to use this energy as a powerful tool for our transformation within our connections. So what we're doing with this energy, or what we can do this week with this energy, is learn how to trust our body's wisdom and how to approach each of our relationships as an opportunity for growth. Our intuition guides us towards the people who resonate with us along our path. And so when we have this energy with us, it allows us to go, or to let go of those past patterns, and really open up to new possibilities, open up to new experiences. And the enlightened side, or the higher frequency of this energy, really brings a state of clarity to our relationships. And it helps us create supportive networks where everyone can thrive. An affirmation for us and this energy this week is: I trust my intuition to guide me forward towards meaningful connections. I release past patterns and open up to new aligned relationships. In Human Design, Gate 44, networks, connections. It is located in the Spleen Center, which governs our instincts and survival. We've been in this center for 3-4 weeks now. So we're continuing to learn more about our intuition and how to trust our instincts. This being in the Spleen Center is closely tied to our physical intuition, and also reading people, sensing danger, and identifying opportunities. Again, going back to sales and marketing. So this week, if you have a business, or even if you work for someone else's business, you have a job, you can lean into finding opportunities in the workplace and in your business. It doesn't even have to be necessarily business related as well. There are opportunities that we may want to take with family, with friends, that we did not sense before. But this week, since we have this energy with us, we are more attuned to sensing that energy. This gate's focus on survival makes it important in helping us recognize who can support us in the long term and who can't. And especially really recognizing these things within our communities and within our business networks. Gate 44 is part of the tribal circuit. So this highlights the importance of our relationships, collaboration, and support within the tribe and the community. And its role within the circuit is to help us seek and attract connections that will help us thrive over time. So this may be new ideas, this may be new resources that come online for us, or this may be new support, whether we're providing support or receiving support within our community. And so this energy is really oriented towards our collective growth, sustainability, and ensuring that each connection that we make serves a purpose, and the connections are meaningful for us in our journey. With this energy, it has a projected strategy. So gate 44, the gift of this is connecting and sensing people potential, but it's best shared when it's recognized with us. So we don't want to just go out giving this energy. We want to make sure that people are going to be open to what we have to share, so we don't feel some type of way if we do share it and they're not open to accepting it. So when people seek your guidance, when they seek our guidance or our insights on relationships or in their day-to-day lives, that's when this gate can really shine and the energy can really be relevant for us. The key to activating this energy is finding the right audience and those who actually recognize the value, who recognize your unique gifts, and who trust your connection, who trust your perspectives. Those are going to be the people who really benefit from what you have to say. So, how do we activate this energy this week? How do we turn it on? How do we flip the switch to make sure we're getting the most out of Gate 44 networks and connections this week? One, we want to trust our instincts. We want to listen to the signals our body are sending us when we meet new people. Often our intuition is always guiding us in the right direction and towards the right connections. We also can start looking at the patterns in our lives. Notice anything that's recurring in your relationships. Recognize that these patterns are here to help us break free from our past. Call them mistakes from a lack of a better term, but they don't necessarily have to be mistakes from the past lessons, the things that we don't desire to have in our lives anymore, and let that open us up to more healthy connections and connections that are more aligned with where we want to be. And then also be open to new connections. You know, this energy thrives in collaboration and in community. So engage with new people, share your values, and trust your insights, all about your intuition as you travel through this week and you harness the energy of Gate 44. Other things that we can do that may be helpful for us this week is to engage in some somatic healing practices to connect deeply with our body's instincts and release any karmic or ancestral patterns that may have impacted your relationships. And also reflect on any lessons that you've had from the past and intentionally choose connections that support your growth and support your purpose. As I mentioned, this week I am connecting closer with my ancestors. Went and saw a Ebu yesterday who informed me that my ancestors are ready to connect with me as long as I'm ready to connect with them. And this is something that isn't really known in my family, at least not openly. Like my ancestors that I know, my grandparents didn't really have these connections where they talked about, you know, working with their ancestral spirits, right? For me, I grew up in a Baptist church, so everything was about the Bible and about the church. Not that my maybe ancestors didn't know these things or didn't practice these things. They didn't do it openly if they did, which makes sense, right? There's a lot of conditioning around what it means to talk to spirits or visit a Ebu and be involved with your ancestors and giving homage to your ancestors in a different way than, you know, maybe we were taught here. I say here, I'm in Honduras now, but back in America, in the States, where I have been most of my life, on how do we connect spiritually and our path. So, you know, this week I am totally open to my new experiences and I'm excited to learn more about my ancestors. Particularly, I've learned that my great grandfather, whose name is George, is going to be here to help me on this journey. And there is a lineage of other ancestors going all the way back to Ghana who came over in the 1800s and who were slaves, and they were brought to South Carolina. And that lineage is here to help me release some of the karmic baggage, maybe not personally, but of my family, and to use their wisdom to help others. So I'm excited about connecting with that network this week and moving forward. And so I am also excited to talk about it more here as I go along on my journey with my ancestors. Gate 44 is the gate of networks, and it teaches us to trust our intuition and to recognize meaningful connections in our lives. By embracing this energy, we can move beyond past patterns and allow ourselves to connect with people who align with us and align with our values and our path. So gate 44, remember, it empowers us to navigate our relationships with intention and to create supportive networks that bring us closer to our goals and contributes to our community and more so to the well-being of our communities. Every connection you make has the potential to guide you closer to your purpose. Gate 44 reminds us to trust our instincts and to embrace the chemistry that brings people together. Let go of the past, open yourself up to new connections that align with your journey. With each person you meet, you're building a network of support, of opportunity, and of growth. Trust the process. Your intuition knows the way. Peace.